I met Richie at a time when I had given up on making close friends. I needed a break. I did not expect to get so emotional over this, actually. Are you gonna film the video with me? Oh, you have something on your face. You have something on your face. Hello cookies, it's Siri. I am back, and today I'm going to talk about my friendship heartbreak. A little backstory for those of you that are new to the channel. Before, I used to say that I did not want to have friends, and I have made a few videos addressing that topic, and I still believe the same thing as I did back then. I think that relationships in general, not just romantic relationships, but friendships or relationships with family or with colleagues or with people in general, they take time, money, effort, energy, they take some brain space, they take some heart space. And before, I used to think that friendships were just not worth it for me. Not just for what it could bring to me, but what I could also bring to someone. I was not ready to invest emotionally, to invest my time, to invest money as well, because friendship is expensive when you go to coffee shops or girls' night, or when it's birthdays or Christmas or someone's engagement party or things like that. Having friends also costs money, or even just meeting them at different events. If you have to take the train or the metro here in Stockholm, it is really expensive, and they have made it even more expensive this year or last year. For the past couple of years, I have tried to get friendships, and I did have friends a few years ago. I mentioned that in my divorce video, but I realized they were not good for my life. And so I decided to cut all those friendships. And then I've had some casual friendships and some that I've had for many years, but I've never had a close best friend or really, really close, tight-knit friends in that sense. Until Richie showed up. She appeared in my day without a phone video. Okay, I can already tell you that one of the things I really like about her is that she has so much respect for my privacy. She knows I have a YouTube channel because I did ask for permission to put her in that vlog. I would not put her there without her consent. I don't like often people coming into my domain, into my retreat, as in having people here in the apartment, because this is my safe zone, my comfort zone. French accent, my comfort zone. And sometimes I don't feel like having people that I don't know that well or that I don't really like being around here, because this is my place to be me. And the same goes for my YouTube channel, and she has understood that without me needing to explain it to her, because she has never asked me my YouTube name. And I know that that does not come from a lack of interest. It's really because she respects my privacy, and she understands that if I wanted her to know about my YouTube channel and to lurk around here, I would have told her about it. I hate, and remember cookies, I don't use the word hate that easily. I think words have a strong meaning, so I'm careful with the choice of words that I have in general. I hate when people that I have to see every day or on a regular basis, or that are around my circles, know and dig up my YouTube channel, because I don't want people to tell me what I may or may not post on here, what I can or cannot say, to tell me their opinions, unsolicited opinions about the things I post. I hate that stuff. This is my freedom area. This is my comfort zone, my safe space. And I know it's weird to say that about an internet platform where you have a lot of trolls. But on here, I can be myself. I can talk about the things that are important to me or the things that matter to me. I can share ideas with you. And I don't want anyone from my real life to come and invade that space. It's like, no, you stay outside. My YouTube is my YouTube. I don't want you on here. So when people that I know in real life try to watch my YouTube channel or tell me things about it, I get mad. I get really mad, and that is something that I do not forgive. So actually, if you don't know, my family members are not allowed to watch my YouTube channel. At least I think they know. Maybe they lurk, maybe they don't. But if anyone that I know would do that, I would just cut them out of my life because you're not allowed to be here. When it comes to you, cookies, it's fine. Even if you suddenly randomly become my neighbor, I don't mind because you already met me through YouTube first. But if you met me through real life first, I don't want you on here. And Richie, she understood that from the beginning. She never tried to invade my YouTube privacy or what I do on here. She just respected. And I know that someday I will tell her about this channel and show her my videos, but I'm not ready yet, and she respects that. I met Richie at a time when I had given up on making close friends. I used to tell the boyfriend that I wanted a friend, it would be nice to have a friend, I would like a friend, but I don't want to force it, and some friendships that I have attempted really disappointed me, and I did not want to go that route again. And so it's Richie that found me, not me that found her. We met at the dog park, and I was in a so-so mood back then. The thing with me is that I am naturally positive and bubbly and have a lot of energy, but at the same time I have a lot of anxiety, and as in pathological anxiety, where I have psychologists and doctors and stuff, and I have papers that says I have severe anxiety and I have people anxiety. And on that day I went to the dog park thinking, I hope no one talks to me, and I was there thinking like, oh, okay, thank God no one talks to me. And then Richie came up to me and started talking to me, and she was like, hi, I'm Richie. I was like, my first reaction was like, I don't want to talk. And then when I looked at her, I thought, wow, she's so beautiful. She was one of the most beautiful people I had seen at that dog park. She has an amazing body, great hair, great smile. I was like, wow, she looks great. And then we started talking, and the rest is history. I think there are many components to why that friendship for me is the best friendship that has ever happened to me. And one of the most practical reasons is that she lives 5 minutes away from here. For me, that is so important because, like I said, to build friendship, you have to hang out, you have to spend time together, and you have to build memories together so you can bond. That's extremely logical. I have public transport anxiety and I hate commuting. I've always hated commuting since I was small. That is something that I really dislike doing. And to be honest, I don't commute for anyone. I do not commute for anyone or anything. And when I dated online, on Badoo, on Tinder, on websites, even in Singapore or here in Sweden, I always put a range, as in where people have to be, because if they're too far, it's not going to work, because I'm not going to commute to go and see you at your place. That is just not a thing I do. I get anxiety, I get stressed, I get really nervous, and by the time I will be there anyway, I will be in a bad mood because I had to commute. So there's no point doing that. And side story, the only reason the boyfriend and I matched was that he works close to where I used to live when we met. So when we matched, he was in that area. But actually back then he lived 1 hour and 20 minutes away from where I was living. And the boyfriend is the one who commuted every single time, because I made it very clear talking on Tinder. I said, I'm not going to commute to where you live. That is too far. I'm not interested. There are guys that live closer. So the fact that Richie lived close, we could meet almost every day, and I think the first month or 2 months of our friendship, we met almost every single day, or the longest is every second day. And she showed me different walking areas for the dogs. We walked around beautiful water, and the dogs are really happy over there. She has 2 rescue dogs from China, so we would always walk our dogs together. Another thing is the fact that we both love exercising and going to the gym. I think for me, it's rare to have met people that genuinely enjoy being at the gym and working out, not just because you want to be skinny or strong or fit. I mean, we both work out because we want to be stronger. So we have the same goal. We want muscles. We want to be able to lift heavy. We want to be able to use our bodies the way we want to use them. But we also genuinely enjoy working out. It is a fun moment, and we've done that a lot together as well. And it helps that she lives close. I could just message her and say, hey, you want to go to the gym in half an hour? You can just grab something quick to eat. I'm going to grab something quick to eat, and then we'll meet outside my place in half an hour, or I'll pick you up at your place. And that was so easy. We had the same passion, and we could just meet like that super quickly. And she showed me a lot of new exercises at the gym. I did show her some new leg workouts, and working out with her was fantastic. So we had the dogs in common. We had the area where we lived in common. We had the gym in common. Another big thing as well is that she's child-free by choice. And for me, I could not believe it when we started talking about that. I'm really open about children. And I do believe she's the one who asked me at the dog park or something like that. I can't remember, but there were a lot of people. And then the subject of children was brought up. And I just said, no, I'm child-free by choice. My boyfriend is also child-free, and I'm never going to have children. And Stockholm is a city where people are very much pro-babies. There are a lot of babies everywhere and parents everywhere. And the dog park was crowded. And I do remember people being quiet and staring at me. And I don't care about those things. It's not a secret. The subject was brought up. I think I was being asked my opinion. And I just say my opinion. And I'm not ashamed of it. I'm not ashamed of what people would think. I don't actually care what people think of me. You know that, Cookies, I've told you many times. I'm not hurting anyone. I'm not doing anything illegal. I'm not yelling or swearing or anything. Then I can just stand proud and tell my truth, and that is that I'm child-free. And she also said that she was child-free. It's so great to meet someone that is also child-free by choice. I think it's really rare, especially if you want to make women friends, to find someone that is child-free, and we bonded a lot about that. We have lots of ideas, we think the same thing, we have our reasons, and there's never any judgment. Or, you know, for example, if one of us says that she doesn't feel anything when looking at a baby, the other one is not going to be like, that's weird, you blah, blah, blah. Like, you know, judgmental people. We're just like, yeah, sure, everyone is different, and we accept that people are different. So there is never any type of judgment with our opinions. Another thing that I also love about her is that we don't have to be careful when we talk about different topics. I don't have to be politically correct and care about not offending some poor snowflake's feelings, or offending this person or sounding like I'm attacking a particular group with this and that. I don't have to do that. I know how to do that because I know how to function in society, but it's so free. And when you can talk openly and someone doesn't think bad about you, because she knows that I don't think bad of people, I don't wish bad on people, I don't judge people's life choices regardless of the choices, as long as it doesn't hurt them or other people. Like, I don't care, and I just want people to do what makes them happy. But other people, I think if you're not very careful with your words, if you don't use these particular words, if you keep in mind all the offensive things you could say, they just rile up on you, and I think it's really unfair. Like, I remember when I was studying at interior design school here in Stockholm, I had a classmate that really attacked a teacher because I think the teacher said something about how she was not very aware of the differences between being a transgender person and having different views on one's sexuality or something like that. I can't remember. And she almost brought the teacher to tears because she said, wow, it's your duty, you have to educate yourself, everyone has to educate themselves, you cannot just not know, not knowing is not an excuse. And that was a teacher that was probably like, 74? And that teacher is a kind person. She would never intentionally try to hurt someone's feelings or say something mean, but just because she doesn't know the differences between being a transgender person and sexual orientation and things like that doesn't mean she's a bad person. She also said many times that she supports people's choices and she doesn't mind, so she's not a transphobic person. But then my classmate attacked her and that really pissed me off. Look, you're attacking an innocent person that just doesn't happen to know everything about everything. With Richie, we can talk openly. She can be open with me. I'm not going to judge her for anything. And I can be open with her because I know she's a good person with a good heart that would always try to help someone else. And I do hope that she thinks the same of me. So we don't have to be super careful. We can just be ourselves and open. And also keep in mind that we speak English with each other. My first language is French and her first language is Chinese, and maybe sometimes some things could get awkward with translation. When I was in Singapore, a friend of mine there that is Chinese used to tell me, Iri, you would be so pretty if you weren't so black. And I know that sounds really offensive, and when I tell that to people, in general, they're like, what? But that's so horrible. Why does she say that? That is so mean. And I said, look, she was directly translating from Chinese, for one. And for two, there's a cultural difference. And for three, I think that she really meant it as a genuine compliment. So instead of me rallying myself up because of words that she didn't mean in a bad way, I just said thank you and I took the compliment. So that's also something to keep in mind with Richie and I, that we don't speak each other's first language, and maybe sometimes some things could go a bit wrong, but we always correct it in our heads that she probably meant it like this. It doesn't matter. There's a particular reason why I'm wearing this top today, and it's because I don't want the necklace to be hidden. This is a gift from Richie, and she also instinctively knew that I liked yellow gold, but then again I'm only wearing yellow gold, so I guess she noticed, and she said that I was sweet and that's why she gave me a heart. Another funny coincidence is that she works as a model, international model. I'm really proud of her. She works for big companies all over the world and she's on billboards in China, and you know, she's a professional model, and she's also an influencer online, so on the Red Book, I think it's what it's called in China. It's like Instagram, but you can see the brands and you can shop directly from there, something like that. And because Instagram used to also be my full-time job, that is something that I could also ask her about, and I was very curious to see how things were going from her front. And in the video where I talk about how I knew I wanted to be child-free, I mentioned my friend that told me that she would rather live her life with honesty and true to herself and make her real life beautiful instead of focusing on making her internet life beautiful. So Richie does not use filters, does not use Photoshop on her body, not that she needs to. She's extremely tall and slender, she has a great body, she doesn't need to do anything. But we talked about that, and I asked her, if you were to get chunky, would you Photoshop your photos or would you go on an extreme diet? And she's like, no, people like me for me, because I'm natural, and I don't want to spend too much brain effort or heart effort or effort in general on trying to make my online life perfect, and so that I neglect the real one. And that really touched me. And even though I can be suspicious, I guess, sometimes of the values behind what some influencers try to portray, with her, I know that she's authentic. And the main subject of this video, one more thing that we really bonded was the fact that we're not very happy living here. And I have said that many times on this channel, but I've always more or less hinted it and never said it very directly. She was getting really blue towards the last months, last year, and I recognized in her all the things that I feel on a daily basis, that I felt at the beginning, all the bad stuff, and you know, just closing off yourself to the world and really just being freaking miserable and starting a depression and everything. And I could see myself in her, and I could see her becoming the way I am now. Every single day I wish I were somewhere else. And so when she told me in October that she was going to leave to go back to China in November, I had mixed feelings. The first, and I'm really proud of myself for that feeling, was being delighted for her, because I was like, yes, I cannot leave, but she can be happy, because I saw my bright, bubbly, happy friend becoming more and more a shell of herself and sad and complaining about things. And that made me sad for her, because I know exactly how it felt like, and we talked a lot about it. And I cannot leave, but she can, so at least one of us can be happy somewhere else. And so the first thing I remember was that I said, I'm really happy for you. I needed a break. I did not expect to get so emotional over this, actually. But yeah, that's the title of the video. So the second thing that I thought after, wow, I'm so happy for her, she gets to leave, was my great, amazing friend is leaving. And that made me very sad. I closed off, so I didn't cry or have any outburst, but I felt really cold inside my heart for a week. And for a week, actually, I didn't really talk much to her. I replied a little bit, but I did not initiate the messages. I did not really meet her, I think, for a week, or maybe briefly for a 1-hour walk with our dogs. But I have a hard time with people leaving, and so for me that was really hard to deal with, and I decided to just not deal with it. I think for me, when I have big trauma, I get really cold and I feel nothing. And I talked about that with my therapist a few years ago, and she did say that it's to protect myself, because otherwise the pain would be too much. And so she left at the end of November, and that's it. I did send her a Christmas card, but it got lost in the mail. It never arrived. Most of my cards never arrived. I sent 9 or 10. I think 2 arrived, which makes me sad. And she did not receive her card, and now she's terribly happy in China. She's doing a lot of photo shoots. She gets a lot of contracts with big brands. She gets to travel, to take photos by a nice beach. She's so happy. I'm so happy for her. But I still have a really hard time with it. And I miss her all the time. I miss her when I walk my dog. I miss her when I want to do my upper body, because she's very strong right here. Like, she is super strong. So she's taught me a lot of workouts that I started to do to try to build everything here on my shoulders and my biceps and everything. Before meeting Richie, I did not realize as well that having a child-free friend made it easier to project myself in the future, having a friendship with someone, because I saw us back then last year being friends in 10 years, in 20 years, in 30 years, in 40 years, because I would not have to pretend to be excited for potential babies. It made it much nicer to imagine a friendship that would not include children from her side. That doesn't mean that I'm closed off to being friends with people that are not child-free. I don't care. Having or not having children is not a criteria for me when making friendships, but it did make it easier to project myself with her, because then I know that we're not going to have to make schedules according to school holidays. I'm not going to have to hear complaints about this related to children that I would not understand anything about, and frankly don't really care about that much. So that was nice. That made me really realize that it's nice to have a child-free friend. And that's it for me today, cookies. I hope you somewhat enjoyed this video. I don't know how to deal with my emotions and my feelings of abandonment. And I've told that to her. I've been very clear that I'm not trying to avoid you, I'm not trying to ignore you, but for me this is difficult. I don't know how to deal with the loss of you. So that's why I might take a long time to reply to messages or be a bit distant. I don't do it on purpose, but I'm just trying to also protect myself, otherwise I would be really sad. And she understands it, and she gives me the freedom and space to just do what I can for myself too. And that's something I really appreciate. So until next time, I will see you cookies at the next video. Bye bye!